I think they make good fucking fights. Dana's a smart motherfucker, and they know exactly what they're doing. They have their matchmakers, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard. Like the UFC's obviously knows what the fuck they're doing. They're $1 billion company.
But then it's super fascinating to see the rise of like YouTube boxing, where it's the total opposite dynamic of let's put together some fights that are going to get a shitload of eyeballs, and who gives a fuck about like who's the best, or treating it like something that needs to have integrity. They're kind of showing that like the total opposite approach is also viable.
Yeah, 100%. There's less fights you can make that route though, because were you invested in the Jake Paul Ben Askren fight? Did you watch?
I watched it, but I'm friends with Jake. I really thought he was going to get his ass beat. When he didn't, I was happy for him. But I don't really I didn't feel that invested in it per se.
Are you watching Jake versus Tyrone?
I'll definitely watch that. Yeah, to be honest, I probably tuned into pretty much all of these like influencer fights. For
me, like those fights, like with Jake versus Ben, I was so much more interested and intrigued than 99% of the UFC fights. Like I'd rather, unless it's a Conor fight, like a Diaz fight, unless it's a huge fight or it's one of my buddies, I don't really watch the UFC too much. Like I don't get too excited. I mean, same with Bellator. Like I like watching exciting fights that I'm like interested in. Like what the fuck? And even Logan versus Floyd. I was sitting on my fucking chair like sweating. Like what the fuck? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Jake versus Ben. Jake versus Tyrone. I'm gonna go to that. It's gonna be fucking sweet. For whatever reason, I'm just super entertained by those, and I love how much shit Jake talks.
Yeah.
Because it's like it makes that fight so much more interesting.
Yeah. From your perspective, as somebody who's obviously got a lot of experience with striking and stuff, how do you feel when you watch Jake Paul? Do you feel like he really is getting like to be that good? Like it's kind of like our perspective of him is colored by the fact that we haven't seen him take an L, so we're all kind of like, fuck, this guy's dope, but a lot of us aren't necessarily experts.
Yeah, no, Jake, I'm definitely buddies with Jake. I wish I could watch him spar against a professional boxer that I knew and could get a really good idea of his skill level. Going into the Ben Askren fight, I'm like, I know for a fact Ben Askren can't box. Like, you just look at him hit mitts, you look at him, he's never been a boxer, he's a wrestler. So when he knocked out Ben, I was like, okay, that just proves to me that Jake can box and Ben Askren can't fucking box. This fight, Jake versus Woodley, will prove a lot. Woodley can fucking box. He's not a high-level black belt boxer. He's a wrestler that knows how to box, and he's knocked people out in the UFC. So I think this fight will definitely prove if Jake's improving a lot. He's a young kid. He's athletic. He's taking it fucking serious, and he's improving a lot. So I'm excited to see this fight and how it goes down. Obviously,
like your career path is already like pretty set out in front of you. Like you know what you're trying to do. You want to be a UFC champion, but if you maybe were at a different point in your career, could you see yourself being interested in doing those kind of influencer fights where maybe the bag is 10 times bigger, but then you're not fighting like the top level competition?
That's a good question. I have a couple fights on my contract left in the UFC. I plan on staying with the UFC. They've been nothing but good for me, but we'll see if there's $10, $20 million bags out there being offered. We'll see. UFC don't pay you like that. They just don't. Eventually, I'll get to a point where I'm Conor level and I can make that money. But dude, I have to become champion. I have to defend the belt, probably move up. I have to win some big fucking fights to make that kind of money.
Right.
But also with winning the fights, like even just winning that last fight, that makes the merch go up. That makes all the sponsor money go up. So I am making good money from the UFC because they give me that platform to be able to get all the eyeballs for everything else. So I'm not too worried about it. But if you want to make million, it's in boxing right now. That's in boxing.
Did you see Bryce Hall versus Austin McBroom?
Yeah, I watched that. I didn't watch it live. Fuck, what was I doing? I don't even remember what I was doing. Was there another fight on that night or something? But yeah, I
think there was a UFC fight that night, wasn't there?
But I went back and rewatched it. Austin looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny, dude. It's so funny how delusional, not those two in particular, just delusional males are when it comes to fighting. If they've never had their ass whooped before, they think fighting something totally different. They have this completely made up story in their head that they think they can whoop someone's ass.
Right.
And then it comes into it, and you 20 seconds into a fight, and you're fucking gassed out.
That's the one thing that so many dudes will just allow themselves to be fucking deluded about. They'll just tell themselves lies about like, oh, if so-and-so did this, I would fuck him up. And it's like, you know, it doesn't seem like there's any attempt to sort of tether that to reality, which is fascinating. And I probably do it too. I probably sat there and told my girl, like, if that fucking dude sits on me, I'll beat his. No actual consideration of how I would do in that fight.
Right? How
you know?
would you do? Yeah, that's funny. I see that all the time, dude. People talking shit. Even like, it's like, how would you, if someone says, I'll a lot of people say too, like, I'll just black out and beat his ass. Like, how would you beat his ass? Like, what would you do?
And blacking out is probably not a great.
Definitely not a good idea. Like, for me, if I'm fighting somebody, I would rather them be very upset, angry, emotional, wanting them to fight me. That's what Conor did so well, especially with Jose Aldo. Got him so aggressive, so mad, so angry. You make a mistake, fucking you know, that taps your cardio too. Cardio is king in this sport, dude. You have to have good cardio. You could be as skilled as you want in the first round, but you gas out in the second round, your skills aren't there, and your cardio's, I mean, if your cardio's not there, your skills are going to drop. So cardio is fucking king in this sport. And that's another thing people don't even think about, like random people that'll get in a street fight or something. Like, dude, you'll be gassed out, heart rate 200, on your knees in a minute.
What would it take to make you in a street fight at this point? Knowing that it's probably a pretty bad career move.
Yeah,
but,
no, very bad.
You also know that you're very capable.
What would it take? Someone trying to jack my watch.
Disrespect you in front of your kid.
Yeah.
That's got to be one.
Elena, like, she's so young. I feel like someone that I would look at whoever's disrespecting me in front of my kid, like, I would look at him as just like, you're retarded. Like, what do you do? Like, it would take a lot for me to actually physically want to do anything to someone, just because I don't know. I just would look at that person as like so stupid. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't want to hurt anybody in the streets. If I did get in a street fight, I'd probably teep kick, that little sternum kick I'd throw right to their sternum, and it'd probably make them fold over.
Yeah,
but I definitely
got that
wouldn't
at your
hurt.
disposal.
It's nice.
It's
Yeah,
a nice way to take care of it
nice
from a distance.
long kick. Doesn't hurt his face. I don't want to kill anybody. But yeah, at a street fight, I can't see myself getting in one.
I got a friend of mine who is, you know, regular guy, but takes a lot of pride in knocking motherfuckers out. And I've seen him knock a lot of fucking people out throughout my life, including like me looking out the window of my house and seeing like a 40-year-old dude laid out in the street because he almost hit him on with his car riding his bike, and my homie just boom and just fucking knocks him out in the street. But he was telling me a story, and this is like, I've never heard a story that basically was like him getting disrespected and then just letting it go. And he told me that he was like at the beach, and this dude who was like clearly a gangbanger like came up to him while he was with his like 4-year-old and fully tried to punk him. Like, I forget exactly what he said or did, but he told me, he's like, yeah, I just walked away. Like, I'm not gonna fucking get clapped in front of my kid. I'm not gonna like let this situation just seems so obviously bad that he turned his pride off for once in his fucking life and just let it go. And I was like, I'm kind of proud of you.
Dude, yeah, that's the bigger man right there. That's the bigger person, being able to walk away. That's a skill too. Fucking being able to just, you know, your ego, you want to fucking, especially if you knock people out and you know you can knock people out, to be able to go, all right, we're not gonna, it's a good skill to have.
But like when you're out of like the club or the bar and like you're surrounded by other professional fighters, does it feel like the odds of anyone getting into a fight are like extremely low or kind of higher?
That's a good question. I've never really partied with a bunch of fighters. Keep my circle real small for the most part. Every time I've been drunk, dude, I just want to fucking dance. Call it dancing. I don't know, wiggle mostly. Just fucking stumble around drunk. I like going up to everybody. Just, you having a good time? Just fucking screaming. Right. Just, I'm a happy fucking drunk. So I don't even think about fighting or think about if I'm in danger. I'm sure if something happened, I need to fucking bust someone up real quick, I'd be able to.
Right.
But I've never even, when I'm drunk, dude, I'm just making sure everyone's having a good fucking time.
Yeah. No, that's definitely.
You drink much?
I used to drink a lot and like do drugs and shit, but now at this, I haven't really been drunk in probably like 3 years.
Damn, really? 3 years? That's, dude, fuck. Because if you, what was the craziest drugs you done?
The meth.
Dude, I feel like
just one time, this girl, we were already drunk as fuck, and she's like, "You want to do this?"
I'd have probably done it too.
I thought it was Molly. And then she's like, no, it's, I forget what she called it, but she's like, it'll make sex really amazing. That's all I had to hear. I'm like, oh, let's go. Yeah.
That have fucking got me in there too.
She wasn't lying either.
Was it crazy?
And we were up for like my homie. I had to like host this BMX contest, like yelling over the megaphone or whatever at like 10 in the morning. And me and her like get home and start fucking. And my homie like banged on my door, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go to sleep for a little bit and then I'll be good. He's like, bro, it's 9:30.
Oh shit!
And I had just been completely like in the zone, fucking that whole night with no clue how much time had passed.
Dude,
that's when I really realized how dangerous of a drug that might have been.
Yeah, that's pure just being in the moment though.
Yeah.
It's crazy how some drugs just put you in the moment. Drugs are fucking fun, but they're dangerous. And what I've kind of like, you do drugs and you have all those happy times. I feel like with those come like the like depressive, like you have those ups, and then after you gotta have those downs. That's just how the fucking world works. At least mine, those ups and downs. But like when I get those training highs after jiu-jitsu, after a hard workout, like I have those highs, but after it's more of those like, it's more peaceful. So it's like a different high. It's a similar high, but without a come down.